Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
I wasn't allowed to get any of this government money that they were giving everybody because I hadn't been open a year, so I couldn't prove my income, I couldn't prove nothing here. So now we get to open and then they close us again.
And it's really hard on our businesses, especially the new ones who have fired up, because they haven't had the opportunity to get any of the help that the federal government is offering, because they're new businesses, so they have no criteria to meet. So it's been difficult on them, and we like to keep them open if we can.
Sheila, Gunn, Reid for Rebel News here in Hanna, Alberta, and I'm at the Tipsy Cow with the owner, Deborah Clark. Deborah Clark is our newest Fight the Fines candidate, because Deborah Clark has received a fine, I guess, for reopening the Tipsy Cow in contravention of the lockdown orders. Now, our initiative, fightthefines.com, we will provide a lawyer, a top criminal lawyer, at no cost to you to fight that ticket in court. But I want to know more first about the Tipsy Cow and about you. So how long has the Tipsy Cow been here?
We started in November of 19. We had it ready to go for March, and COVID hit, and we can't open. So now we've been sitting on a bar that we can't do nothing with. We never got it open until June 1st when lockdown came about. And so I wasn't allowed to get any of this government money that they were giving everybody because I hadn't been open a year, so I couldn't prove my income, I couldn't prove nothing here. So now we get to open and then they close us again in December. So it's just all of it, the rules are good for people, some people, and not for me.
Why are you guys here at the Tipsy Cow?
We're sick of being told that we can't go out and see our friends and family, and we've seen beyond the veil. There's a lot of misinformation in mainstream media, scaring a lot of people for unnecessary reasons. We're done with it. We're not putting up with it anymore. I think there's a lot of people around the world, and I don't know, I think there's a big change coming.
Yeah, we need to open up the businesses. Without the businesses, there won't be nothing to be open up to, and that's basically the bottom line.
I understand why originally the government decided to do the lockdown, but they failed to do the most important thing, and that's listen to the people and understand that the lockdown was doing more damage than what they had anticipated the virus would do.
What do you think about the government ticketing people for an act of, I guess, economic survival?
Well, Alberta Health has way too much authority. They're the ones that's doing this they're the ones that's creating the fines and whatever else. The RCMP are just doing what they're asked of.
I just feel that our freedoms and way of life are being threatened. Our freedoms being eroded. I think that individuals are being asked to give up their livelihood for the greater good of society in general, which is kind of what probably happened in the Ukraine and Hungary. They probably had a good excuse why people had to give up their livelihoods and their food and their cows, and pretty soon they were starving to death. That's the worst case scenario, but this only happened about 70 years ago under Stalin, that people were starved out in these prosperous countries.
You know what, this whole town is based on small businesses, and it's built on the backbone of that. If we do not have those small businesses, then we don't have anything. So if we shut everything down, then everything in this town is going to shut down, and there's going to be nothing left of it. There won't be anything left of it. So
how do they expect any of these people to pay their own bills and make a living in any sort of way? It's just, there's no rights anymore that this government's trying to give us. I don't know. It'd be nice to get some truth out of the government as to what their plan is with all of this.
What do you think about how the government is now talking about, well, if the new variants take over, we're going to have to close down the whole industry again.
Yeah, I almost seen that coming. It's been, for the last 6 months, we're going to open and then they close down. And then they're going to open and then they close down. So I think a little bit of stability would be nice, and a clear answer as to what we're going to do would be nice. And
I'm one of 6 counselors.
And why are you at the Tipsy Cow?
Well, I had seen a post on Facebook, and I thought I'd come out and see what it was about. And I think all of us that are here are very passionate about our community, and we're struggling even before COVID hit with our coal mine being closed down by the provincial government at that time. It was Miss Notley, and I think politicians need to maybe go into communities that have maybe industries that they're looking at canceling, because I don't think they really realize the impact of their decisions. Instead of just a writing or a signature on the bottom of the page, I think they need to come out into the communities and just see how they're going to be impacted.
Now, Mayor, I was down at the Tipsy Cow on another unrelated story, but they told me that I should come down to your Home Hardware and talk to you because they said that you had some things to say about the lockdown. So I guess, what do you think about the continued lockdown on Alberta businesses?
Well, I did send a letter to Premier Kenney about 3 or 4 weeks ago asking if we could go back to the old enhanced region versus non-enhanced region, because as a municipality, as a region, we have never reached the enhanced criteria, so we've really never had to wear masks, and it's really hard on our businesses, especially the new ones who have fired up, because they haven't had the opportunity to get any of the help that the federal government is offering, because they're new businesses, so they have no criteria to meet. So it's been difficult on them, and we like to keep them open if we can.
It seems to me a lot of these large blanket provincial restrictions are coming down from Edmonton with not a lot of consideration for what's really happening on the ground in the smaller municipalities further away. For example, here in Hanna, where you just aren't seeing the COVID case count numbers that they are seeing in Edmonton or Calgary or some of the surrounding regions.
Exactly. I think, the biggest thing that's missing is population density. We have 4,200 people in an area that's quite vast. So when you get that lack of population density, I think, that has to be taken into account, and it hasn't been so far. So
We want to work. I've lost 3 waitresses. They went and found different jobs. They don't need to come back to something that's not even sure if we're going to stay open. So they're at a guaranteed job. I'm not.
Right, and I mean, Hanna has already been hard hit by the government's attacks on the coal sector, so this is a town that's not doing well on a good day.
Well, we haven't closed nothing really down. It's just the masks, the social distancing. Everybody's afraid of everybody. Everybody's afraid to get COVID. I understand there's underlying conditions with people, but we're not afraid. I'm not afraid to die, and I think there's half these people in here are showing you the same thing. We're not afraid to die. It's going to happen eventually.
You may as well have beer and visit with your friends.
Die here if you want. I'll help you.
You received a close down notice from Alberta Health Services. The inspectors came out and stuck that thing on your wall.
Yeah, when he put it on, he was pretty stern and pretty strict with me, and he says, and don't you open the car. What do I do?
But you did reopen.
No. I just left it alone until the 8th. I couldn't fight it anymore. I said, I'm scared now. Like the Adamsons, they busted his doors, they busted his windows. Like I didn't want that. I can't afford that.
Yeah, I think that's why the Toronto police came down so hard on Adamson, is because they wanted to scare everybody off, doing exactly what Chris Scott inspired everybody else to do out here.
Right. Well, that's where I got my balls, is from Chris. I really appreciate that man so much for doing what he did. And I appreciate Rebel News for interviewing him. And I thought, is this for real? And I thought, I wonder, do they really help us? And then I watched you guys out at Chris, and you backed him 100%. I thought, I got to talk to Sheila. I have to talk to Sheila. Yeah.
We don't want you to pay that $1,200 ticket. We want you to plead not guilty. I've already taken a picture of it. I'm going to put you in touch with a top criminal lawyer at no cost to you. Right. I want you to do what you do, and that's serve great beer and good food in a really great town. And we don't want you to worry about any of that because we're going to crowdfund all the legal costs for you. What do you think about that?
That's the part I like. I really, honest to God, we can't afford it right now. Our bank account's minus. So because of this, 2 months being locked down, I can't do it.
Well, Hanna's a town that needs jobs, and you're a job creator, and so that's what we want to see.
I'm old. I don't want to work anymore. I'd rather these young kids do this. Like, I've already got the will written out. Let these kids do this stuff. Yeah, I want them to take over the bar, and then they'll do a good job.
Yeah. Well, they are. It's bustling in here, and it's a Wednesday afternoon. Deb, thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you for helping us. I really appreciate the help.
If you're a restaurant owner or a business owner like Deb and you are planning to reopen your restaurant in defiance of the lockdown restrictions, please reach out to us at iwillopen.com and let us tell your story. And if you're someone like Deb here who has received a lockdown ticket for just living your life, trying to run your business, trying to save some jobs or create some jobs and get back to a little bit of normalcy, and you've received a lockdown ticket, I don't want you to pay it. I want you to fight it. Send it to us at fightthefines.com and we'll put you in touch with a top criminal lawyer at no cost to you. For Rebel News here in beautiful Hanna, Alberta, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. If you've received a lockdown ticket, I don't want you to pay it. I want you to fight it. I want you to plead not guilty and send that ticket to Rebel News at our special website, fightthefines.com, and we will put you in touch with a top criminal lawyer at no cost to you. And if you have yet to receive a lockdown ticket, however, you'd like to help us in our largest civil liberties project to date, fighting the lockdown one ticket at a time, you can donate at the website I just mentioned, fightthefines.com.